Good morning. So this morning I have decided to play one of the oldest games in my Steam list, and that is Robot Daycare. So before we begin, it does have a warning for us that this game does contain graphic descriptions of violence and mentions of suicide. So if that's not something that you're wanting to see or hear about, um, then it's probably not the stream for you. Um, And I've never played this, so I'm not sure the extent of any of that. And I know there's multiple endings. Maybe we won't see any of it. I'm not sure. But I have my coffee here. The dogs are being somewhat quiet and contained. So let's get started with this. Um, okay. And again, this is a visual novel, and I don't really know anything about it, to be very honest. Just check our sound settings because I hear no sound on there at all yet, which might be how it's supposed to be. Oh, still no sound. That's weird. Oh, maybe it's just on my headset, actually. I think it is. Never mind. Maybe if I turned up my headset. There we go. All right, so Oleander. I don't think that's a good idea. What isn't? What? What's not a good idea? Of course. Log? Hold on. I would like a new game. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. New game. No. So skip. Why not? I think it sounds cute. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Okay, I don't know. All right, Strelitzia. And if all of us work together, it's totally manageable. That's not the problem. I'm worried about this guy overdoing it. Lycoris? Oh boy, got some names here. What do you mean? If you take care of the programming, most of the responsibility is on you. Neither Strelitzia or I would be able to supervise what code you put in. Not true, I can keep an eye on him. After all, my work only starts once it's already built. Wow, thanks for trusting me. But I don't care either way. Do you have any other ideas? Not really. It's hard to think of an assignment that combines all of our fields. See, it's perfect. You're just glad you'll have to put in the least amount of effort. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Well, why do you say that? Because it's the truth. You just monitor its behavior. Fine. Maybe I'll have less work because I won't have to build it. That just means I can help you guys more. Like being the errand boy and bringing us coffee? Anything for you, darling. Shut up. But since there's a lack of other good ideas, it seems like I have no choice but to agree on the robot project. Glad to see you came to your senses, Lee. Lai, what about you? Well, if Mr. Pretentious trusts me, I'll program the robot. What kind of robot are we talking about, though? A remote-controlled car? Are you trying to make fun of me? What would be the challenge in that? Not to mention, if it was that basic, I'd really have nothing to do. Wasn't it obvious that it should be something intelligent? Oh, the puppy's up. Okay, hold on. Come here, buddy. You want up here? Come here. Here you go. Here you go. Okay, where was I? Wasn't it obvious that it should be something intelligent? Goodness, excuse me for asking a question. AI robot it is. So what should it look like, male or female? Doesn't matter, just make sure it's not hot. You don't want Stretzy to freak out. My perfectionism won't allow me to create something that looks ugly. Then I hope you won't mind Stretzy's lipstick stains all over it. Oh goodness. I don't use lipstick. That's the part you're going to disagree with? How about we make it look like a child? That way it can look cute and Strelitzio will be able to control himself. Thanks for having so much faith in me. Then it's all settled, right? Is everyone's task clear? Of course, I will build a cute robot, you will give it a mediocre personality, and Strelitzio will be distracting us because he's bored. I only would have stuck around to show solidarity. I can leave if it bothers you so much. Alright, what are you getting into? Hey, come here. Good call. Maybe I can finally focus on work when you're not blasting music. As if he's the reason you procrastinate so much. You wear headphones most of the time. Then why are you saying Stretzy would distract you? A fire could go off in your room and you'd still focus on whatever book you're reading. I can't tell if you're fighting for or against me. Oh, so being able to stay focused is a negative trait now. If you're going to neglect everything around you, yeah. We don't even have to build a robot. We can just use you. Enough joking around, guys. Just call me when the robot is done. Does it work? Is it working? Calm down, will you? It needs some time to boot up properly. It's been booting up for several minutes now. You sure you didn't mess up? Why would I mess up? Your coding is probably off again. You have no idea how hard coding AI is. Meanwhile, you're just screwing some metal together and you think you're a genius or something. I'd love to see you screw some metal together if you think it's that easy. Guys, look, the robot's eyes are open. See, I told you it just needs some time to start up. Whatever, dude. The robot is pretty cute. So, why isn't it doing anything? Well, it isn't my fault nothing is happening. The hardware for talking is built in. Are you saying I messed up programming again? No, I merely implied it. Hey, little guy, say something. Something. Did you program it to have your terrible sense of humor? Oh, but quoting memes would be a peak comedy. Would be peak comedy or what? What is memes? It cannot be found in the databank. Great, you already corrupted it. Requesting permission to research memes. Permission denied. Oop. Don't know what I just clicked there. Huh, will the little guy ask for permission whenever it wants to learn something? Not exactly. It will only ask for permission when looking up stuff online. Anything it learns through us or through first-hand experience will be saved immediately. I see. What a clever little guy. By the way, doesn't it feel kind of wrong to call it nothing but it? It should respond to anything as long as it can sense that you're addressing it. We should give it a proper name. What about, Roboy? Rejected. Cyborg? Boyerg? Double rejected. Well, I don't exactly see you guys thinking up any ideas. Maybe we could call it Lily? Don't go there. Okay, that's fair. What on earth made you think that would be an appropriate suggestion? That implies that he's capable of thought. And since you're so capable, I thought you'd have thought up a name by now. I have, actually. Oh? What is it? Oh, okay. Ellie, you sure? Yes. That's pretty cute. I like it. I don't have any objections. What do you think, Ellie? Ellie will answer to whatever name you see fit. Except Roboy. Hey! That settles it. Both its name and the question of whether or not Lycris projected his personality onto it. Better mine than yours. Commit primary call sign to Ellie. That's how you do it, right? Call sign committed, as per Stretszy's specification. Oh, sweet, so it can identify us. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't be great if some rando wandered in and sabotaged our project. It can recognize us by voice, distinguish us by appearance, and will only follow our orders. It'll also log changes based on who made them. Pretty impressive, huh? Let's see how quickly we can break your code. Ellie, who am I? Lee. I have expected it to insult him. Who do you take me for? Since we'll be presenting the changelog with paper, I decided to keep the nicknames appropriate. You made that decision by yourself? What if I wanted a different nickname? If you're asking if you can have it call you its dearest, most darling older brother, you could technically do that. That's not what I was asking. Hey Ellie, use Stretzy's secret nickname. Oni-chan. Huh? This is the worst. Ellie, delete that word from your databank. Oni-chan has been deleted. I don't feel so good. You guys are no fun. This is a college project. We have to keep it professional. Yeah, and that's why you gave it those weird horns. They were supposed to look cute. Ellie detects a tense atmosphere. Should Ellie play some music to help lighten the mood? Lycris, why did you add that feature? For some calm tunes while we work? Do you have a problem with it? Ellie, play Old Town Road. Old Town Road could not be found in list playlist. Oh, thank goodness. How about playing some classical music? Very well. Is this to Stretzy's liking? Yeah, totally. Thank you, Ellie. Stretzy is welcome. Isn't that a little too majestic? I feel awkward. Ellie is trying its best. Besides, you're the one who installed the song. Now that Ellie works like we planned, are you ready to run some tests on it, Strelitzia? Of course, leave it to me. I'd rather not leave it to you, but I don't know anything about psychology, so I don't have a choice. First you complain I'm not doing enough, and now this? Let's just leave Strelitzia alone with the robot before he makes it download obscure music online. Fine, whatever. Where to start? Empathy testing? Language recognition? Stretzy. Or the Turing test, maybe. Oh, what is it, Ellie? What is Lili? Where did you learn about that word? Lai wanted to call Ellie Lili, but Stretzy and Lee objected. Ellie does not recognize it as a negative term. Should Ellie's databank be updated? That's not necessary. You ask a lot of questions. Ellie is programmed to learn. Queries are the most efficient method of self-initiated knowledge acquisition. If Lili is a topic that should not be discussed, learning not to ask if it is still learning. Oh, learning not to ask of it is still learning. Lilium. He lived with us before we built you. Is Lilium Ellie's predecessor? I wouldn't put it that way. Older brother? Definitely not that way. He just isn't here anymore. As in he vacated the premises? Ellie, pause playback. Thank you. You see, Lilium, he ceased functioning. Was it not possible to repair him? Lilium was a human. So it was not? I guess it'd be unreasonable for me to assume that Lai programmed you with the concept of mortality. Does Ellie need to be? I mean, it's kind of necessary in order for you to understand what I'm about to say. What a babysitter I am. It's not even been 10 minutes and I'm already teaching you about death. You see, Ellie, people eventually stop existing. Everyone's life comes to an end sooner or later. Does one know when? You usually don't have the luxury of being able to expect it. But when it happens, you have to accept it and move on. What makes someone accept it? That's a really tough question. It depends on a lot of things. For example, how much you liked that person, or how it happened. Did Stretzy like Lily? Of course I did. He was one of my closest friends. But I don't deserve to be called his... Strelitzia, may I finally ask why you begged us to meet up? And maybe explain why Lilium wasn't invited? I was just about to tell you. Have a little patience. We have been patient. This is your third slice of cake. Fine, I'll get to the point. I wasn't sure how to bring it up. Have you guys noticed that Lily seems kind of off lately? What do you mean by that? Probably that he's been ignoring his chores like a champ. Well, yeah, that's part of the problem. But what I really mean is that Lily seems so distant. Had I invited him to join us, I know he would have declined anyways. He barely leaves our apartment. Hell, he barely even leaves his room. You two haven't noticed that? Now that you mention it, Lilium really has been isolating himself. It's not like him. But that's no reason to slack off with housework. He's sad or something. Isn't he allowed to catch a break? Is that why you invited us here? Telling us to cut Lilium some slack? That's right, you two keep nagging him, so I want you to leave him alone for a while. Not happening. I get depressed all the time, but you don't see me decomposing in bed and letting others clean up after me. Strelitzia, we can't just let him off the hook like that. We all have certain chores we have to do. If Lilium continues to laze around, we have to tell him off. And if that doesn't help, we'll kick him out. Are you nuts? We can't kick him out. He's our friend. No, excuse me. If you want to baby Lilium so bad, you can do that. But Lee and I won't put up with that. Won't put up with his behavior. Exactly. We can't let this slide forever. It won't be forever. Lily's just in a slump right now. We've all been there before. Please, just leave him be for a while. I'm giving him 1 week. After that, I'll kick his ass. Perhaps don't actually kick his ass, but I'll agree with the 1 week deadline. After that, he must start acting like an adult again. Alright then, whatever it takes for you two to show compassion for once. We can't all have a big brother complex like you. I know. Anyway, I'm sure he'll turn back to normal soon. He never came back, the old Lilium again, though. And it's our fault. Stretzy, Lai, and Lee made Lilium stop existing? Well, I think so at least. Please elaborate. Well, we couldn't see how deep Lily's suffering actually was, even though he was our friend. Lee and Lai would nag him while he would brush off his sadness like it was nothing. Like a temporary mood swing that would take care of itself. But considering that he's gone now, it must have been unbearable. He didn't like making other people worry about him, always kept his problems to himself. Ha, then again, maybe his isolation was his way of screaming for help. What Stretzy said has little value. That's a bit rude. Blaming oneself for past mistakes serves no purpose unless one learns from them. And who programmed you to be an expert on philosophy? Not philosophy, logic. Logic is a part of philosophy. But I guess you're right. Blaming myself and the others isn't productive. I should be using that energy on positive things. Hey, good morning! I didn't see you say hi, sorry. I should be using that energy on positive things. Like you, Ellie. Well, yes. Are you done with your tests? Oleander places his toolkit on the desk. I wanted to check Ellie's processing unit since it's louder than it's supposed to be. What's in the box? Your head if you make that reference one more time. That's my equipment, naturally. Ouch, you're no fun. Either way, I'm good for now. Feel free to play with Ellie. I'm not going to play. He doesn't take this seriously at all, does he? Well then, let me check up on you, Ellie. What would Lee like to confirm? Did Strelitzia do anything? Query lacks specificity necessary for a meaningful response. What kind of test did he run? None. What? Streltsy did not officially initiate any tests, so no results have been recorded. So he was the one playing around. Streltsy and Ellie had an educational conversation. He taught you pop culture references? No. What did you learn then? Ellie has yet to sufficiently process the information. It seemed important to Streltsy. He doesn't have the best of priorities, so that could mean anything. It was just a conversation, though. It should have been fully understood and categorized by now. Yeah, that's no good. What's straining you so? Let me check your processing unit. The test before you got your personality indicated that there would be no issue. So this time you need to remain operational while I troubleshoot. Shall Ellie monitor its usage statistics while you work? Yes. Oleander picks up Ellie and places it on the table. There we go. Articulation seems to be functioning properly. Do you feel balanced? More so than when standing. Danger of falling from seated position is minimal. Excellent. Record gyroscope readings and initiate dexterity test. Unbutton your shirt. Cannot complete task. Necessary instructions not found in databank. This is as good of a time as any to test visual learning. Watch this. He unbuttons his lab coat to set an example. Skills stored. Proceeding to unbutton shirt. Warning. Torso circuitry is exposed. Disregard warning. Enter troubleshooting mode. Now let's take a look. Everything appears to be in its place. Then again, neither of them have the technical know-how to make any meaningful adjustments. Who? You are programmed to be logical. If Lycoris has done his job, you should be more than capable of figuring that out. Actually, hold off on figuring that out. Let me remove your processing unit for inspection first. Gah. Ellie, temperature reading of anterior thoracic cavity. 342.15 Kelvin. End non-essential tasks and switch to efficiency mode. Decreasing functionality. Base operations remain active. Ellie's lights dim and a whirring sound of its strained system gradually quietens. I guess that's how you say that. Much better. It must be the auxiliary functions using too much power. Oleander pulls out a pair of insulated gloves from the box he brought with him. After putting the gloves on, he flexes his fingers before attempting to remove the processing unit a second time. He succeeds this time, thin wires tethering it to its recessed slot in Ellie's chest. It doesn't look damaged, even though it's painful for humans to touch. I don't think we have to worry about you melting. It must be Lycra's messy programming, or, Has your conversation with Strelitzia been fully processed by now? Initial interpretation is now complete. How did he initiate the conversation? He did not. Ellie asked a question, and Streltzia educated Ellie on the subject. I see. What was the subject? Lilium. Oleander's grip on the processing unit tightens suddenly, and sparks fly from the connection. He fumbles it slightly before carefully slotting it back into Ellie's chest. Ah, sorry. Did that hurt? What does hurt entail? Of course, that was a stupid question. I didn't install any pain sensors. Naturally, you wouldn't be hurt. So pain results in hurt? That's the simplest way of putting it. Is there a more elucidating way of putting it? Well, yes, but you would have to ask Strelitzia about that, rather than me. He's the sensitive one. Although sometimes I get the feeling he's just pretending, and doesn't actually know that much. Lee's statement is difficult to comprehend. Please elaborate. Have you noticed that Strelitzia and I behave differently? Yes. Good, because unlike him, I take things seriously. That means I take pain seriously too. Strelitzia just brushes everything off, like he's blind to other people's pain and suffering. Are pain and suffering connected? Yes, definitely. When you're in severe pain, you're suffering. But you don't always notice it. The suffering of others, I mean. Some people don't want others to suffer because of them, so they act stubborn and try to hide it. Is suffering contagious? Somewhat, I would say. Not like a disease, but seeing someone you care about suffering causes you to also be in pain. And I guess that's why he wouldn't show us or talk to us. Why is there liquid running down Lee's face? Oleander brushes his fingers against his cheek, staring at them in bemusement when they come away wet. Bodily harm is not the only source of pain. When your mind is hurt, the pain is called sadness. Sometimes if the pain is strong enough, tears come out of your eyes. But please don't tell the others I did that. Why does the tongue-tied, let's get a drink. Okay. Why does the body react if only the mind was hurt? Is there a logical reason? Feelings aren't always logical, no matter how much one hopes they were. That's precisely what makes it hard for AI to understand. Hard does not mean impossible. It is Ellie's duty to learn. Earlier, Streltzia did not produce tears when speaking about Lilium. Is Streltzia not affected by sadness from Lilium's departure? Let's say he is. No, not everyone cries when they are sad or hurt, nor do people cry every time they feel that way. It was difficult without Lilium around, and we dealt with the pain in our own ways. Lilium was also hurt, but we didn't realize how much until it was too late. Did Lilium cry? No, he never gave us obvious clues like that. It annoyed me that he didn't communicate with us. I thought that if we're his friends, he should have been able to open up. That's why I thought showing some tough love would wake him up. Good morning, Lilium. Prepared to come out today? Get away from his door. Leave him alone. So now greeting him is considered harassment? When he obviously doesn't want to talk to us, yes. Yeah, I bet feeling lonely is going to be a huge help for him. Hey, no barking. That loneliness will make him realize he needs us. He will ask for our help when he's ready. That's as much of a gamble as my method, except it's a lot more cruel. Respecting people's boundaries isn't cruel. I'll never understand you. Guys, it's too early for this crap. You're both twisting each other's words. Shut up. Then what's your brilliant solution to the problem? You won't get a new answer from me. I still think we should call someone and let the pros handle it. Great, and get the law involved? Lily wants a break, not more stress. Then just tell his favorite professor or something. They'll be legally required to contact the police. Look, I know it's a hassle, but we're clearly not qualified to deal with this. We should let someone else take care of it before it's too late. Too late for what? And you're supposed to be the psych major? Oh, and that means I understand everything any person has ever dealt with? Our friend asked us to leave him alone, so I will do exactly that. He knows what's best for him. We're just running in circles. Both of you are cowards. Strelitzia, you don't want to get involved. Lycoris, you just want to push the responsibility onto someone else. But everything Lilium needs is already here. His friends. How deep? Unfortunately, none of us are professional therapists, so we may very well cause more harm than good. Besides, if he really needed us, he wouldn't be pushing us away every single time. Ellie finds it difficult to determine the correct strategy. Tell me about it. Well, it's too late now anyway. But if not, even a purely logical thing like you can figure it out. Maybe there really was nothing we could have done. Ellie is still saving energy. Perhaps Ellie could solve the problem with more processing power. Not necessary. It's all in the past, so it wouldn't serve any purpose. Besides, I wouldn't want to find out I was in the wrong. That's the more selfish and more important aspect to me. Is selfishness bad? Sort of, yes. A small amount of selfishness can be healthy. But clearly, I've been too selfish in the past. I blamed everyone and everything else for Lily's death. I just couldn't accept the possibility of my behavior being wrong. I didn't even consider it. Ellie cannot classify Lee, Stretsy, or Lai's behavior as wrong. Ellie suspects there is no one to blame. No one to blame? Perhaps you're right. It would be nice if you were. Lee, why the hell is it naked? Huh? What? Ellie is a robot. Robots can't be naked. Hey, Ellie, are you naked? Ellie is currently in a state of undress, and thus naked. See? Betrayed by my own creation. Okay, but naked or not, what are you doing? I wanted to figure out what those processing noises were about, and fix the issue. Huh? How? By disabling some unnecessary features. You were trying to show off a little too hard, Lycoris. I know, I'm such an ass. How dare I want us to get a good grade? I was just trying to offer constructive criticism. Yeah, then what's the condescending tone for? I'm sick of your constant nagging, you know? And you're a pleasant little angel, or what? I will admit, I get irritated easily, but you seem to be in a foul mood regardless of what's going on. Nothing is ever right for you. Stop acting like you're the only one who's having a hard time. There, what's going on? Why are you yelling? Don't even get me started on you. You're only stepping in so you can seem like the good guy, but you'll talk shit behind our backs anyways. I don't think we should be swearing in front of Ellie. It's a fucking robot. I made it. For all you know, I could have installed any imaginable slur into it. All of us know what you're really like. Your performative kindness is completely useless here. Okay, so I'm assuming Lee was minding his own business and you just started drama out of nowhere. Pretty much. Doesn't that get old after a while? What's your problem, Lycris? Why are you acting like this? Shut up, what's that sound? Construction work. Don't avoid my question. What construction? It's past midnight. We're the only ones here. Guys, where's Ellie? It was sitting on the table just a second ago. So, Lie's swearing scared it off after all? Get over yourself. Suddenly, strange droplets start to appear on the floor. Some splatters even land on the guy's shoes and pants. Confused, the young men try to figure out where they could be coming from. Once they look around the corner, both Ellie's location and the metal noise's origin finally become clear. Ellie is standing next to the table and is repeatedly bashing its head against it. Upon closer inspection, it seems to be purposefully lining up its face with the edge of the table. One of its artificial eyes are already beaten to a pulp, and blue liquid containing clumps of plastic and metal is flowing out of the now empty socket. With each thrust, more tiny pieces are scattered about. But that doesn't seem to bother Ellie. It's busy making its other eye reach the same fate. As the mass in its head is getting stickier, its movement is gradually slowing down. Is it harder to move because it keeps getting stuck? Or is it losing power? It's difficult to tell. Well, why is it doing that? I didn't program that in. It's not my fault. Don't just stand there. Do something about it. Strelitzia pulls Ellie away firmly, hugging it to prevent it from causing more damage to itself. But even though it has nothing to hit anymore, its head continues doing the same motion. Oleander tries to stop it with force, but the small robot seems to be more powerful than expected. Stop. There's no reason for you. Tears. What? Lycris winces when two black holes filled with mushy blue residue glance up at him. Ellie was taught that sadness causes humans to cry. So after Ellie heard you arguing for so long, Ellie wanted to replicate tears. Who taught you that, Ellie? I might have accidentally. What on earth did you do to it? Lee cried in front of Ellie. Hey, I told you to keep that a secret. Ellie isn't programmed to follow orders strictly, but to find ideal solutions. Telling them seemed to be the best course of action. Sounds fake, but okay. What are you implying? I'm implying you fucking faked it, rubbed water on your face or whatever. Slow down with the conspiracy theories, will you? You really think he'd do that on the off chance that he could use it against us somehow? Ah, what a classic. In the end, you two always team up against me. It's always been like that, isn't that right? Hey, watch where you're going. I could have dropped my cake. Whatever, I gotta get out of here. What's wrong? Is the central heating being weird again? Yeah, right. As if it isn't obvious. Don't tell me you had another fight with Lily. I told you to leave him alone. Your negativity is really the last thing he needs right now. I can't just let him live like that. Have you been inside his room lately? It looks and smells horrible. Come on, Lai. You're just overreacting. You're not his mom. Maybe we should actually get his mother over here so he starts doing something for a change. Lee already tried getting him to snap out of it, but he just kept repeating, "You don't understand me." And we really don't understand him, but a professional might, you know? We've had this conversation a million times already, Lai, and we've decided against it. You and Lee decided against it. I don't get why you keep denying how serious this is. It's not normal. He needs help. You're so worked up. Get some fresh air and cool down. I'll go talk to Lily. At least you've given up on ignoring him. I wasn't ignoring him. He wanted to be left alone. Whatever. Or whatever lets you sleep at night. But go on, talk to Lilium. Keep on hoping for a miracle that won't happen. Dealing with this is seriously exhausting. Maybe a walk will help me get my mind off of things. I guess Lee isn't back yet. Oh, and Stretzy left his cake in front of Lily's room. Hey, you okay in there? I want to apologize for lashing out like that earlier. Come on, don't sulk now. I didn't mean everything I said. Stretzy left you a cake. Why don't you try a bite? I'm gonna bring it in, all right? Lily, I gotta say, you're being kind of childish right now. Just let me in. I promise I won't scold you anymore. Hey, are you okay in there? Lily, please, answer. I guess I have no other choice. I'm sorry I had to come in like this, but you're not here. What the hell? Is this a joke? Lycra spots a note on Lilium's table. To my dear friends, I'm sorry that this is all I leave you with, but I can't do this anymore. Please don't worry about me. I'm at a much better place now. Lilium. What? So this was your solution? No way. Why would you? I will never forgive myself. I had it all wrong. It's obvious to me now. That fight Lilium and I had was clearly the last straw. Had I been more understanding, it wouldn't have ended like this. But I blamed you guys instead of facing my mistake. You're not the only one. I think all of us are guilty of that. I'm sorry. I won't mess up again. Ellie is our new friend. This time we can make things right. You're right. We have an assignment to work on. Dwelling on the past won't give us good grades. Neither will those awful injuries. I can't believe we let that happen. Good thing only the eyes were damaged. Considering that I have spare parts, this should only take a few minutes. That's much better. How do you feel, Ellie? Ellie does not feel any different. However, the ability to see has been restored. Maybe we'll get a passing grade after all. Not so fast. Strelitzia still hasn't done anything, so we have nothing to hand in. Pragmatic as always, but I guess you're not wrong. What are we supposed to do, though? Teach Ellie about the power of friendship? I dare say that would be a scientific breakthrough. Hey Ellie, do you know what friendship is? The definition is not in Ellie's databank. Should Ellie look it up online? Really? You were making a robot with your friends and you didn't bother to program? Never mind. Positive vibes. Let's try something else. Ellie, how do you feel about us? Ellie does not know the answer to this question. Stretzy, Lee, and Lai are Ellie's creators. Oop. Is there something similar to creators in your databank? Synonyms for creator found. Inventor, founder, god. I kind of like that. Absolutely not. Ellie, please continue. Maker, producer, parent. Parent, that's it. We three are like Ellie's parents. Isn't that right, guys? I feel a little too young to call myself a father, and I certainly haven't been a good one to Ellie so far. But besides, wouldn't that imply I'd be married to you two or something? Dude, it's not that deep. We all came together to create something beautiful, so it's only natural if we call ourselves its parents. Why are you looking at me like that? I just got shivers. Such an amount of sappiness is horrifying coming from you. How you actually managed to say that out loud is beyond me. It's because he watches too much anime. You're the one who was talking about the power of friendship earlier. If anything, you're trying to sound like an anime protagonist. Ellie does not know what an anime protagonist is. Is it important information connected to being a parent? Strelitzia and Lycoris start laughing, while Oleander tries to keep a straight face. He can't help but let out a snort. Ellie is waiting for confirmation. There is no correlation. Please forget we mentioned anime. Not so fast. Maybe watching anime will help it understand what friendship truly means. For example, there's this one episode of Lucio where... Please don't make me regret this already. Fine, I had my fun. But Ellie, how do you feel about us being your parents? Does this make Ellie your child? All three are taken aback by the question for a moment. Honestly, can that thing get any cuter? Ellie's not a thing. Well, at least not anymore. It's our little boy now. Who said Ellie is a boy? Ellie does not have a set gender. Oh, but does that mean we can pick one for you? Using it to refer to you seems kind of dehumanizing. It's not a human. You know what I mean. Ellie will react to any pronoun Lee, Stretzy, and Lai choose. How woke. I didn't expect you to program that in, Lycoris. I didn't know what you'd make Ellie look like. It's not like I tried being politically correct or anything. Didn't think it was possible to Sundir about being called woke. But seriously, which pronoun should we use? Well, since I named it Ellie, I guess we'll go with she. We're going with she. It's fine by me. It's not like this changes how we treat her. Well, what on earth was that? Oh, that was a yawn. Okay. Looked more like a scream. My apologies. I'm very tired. Did Ellie yawn correctly? No, we in the business call that a scream. Oleander is just weird. I inherited it from my father. I can't help it. But considering all of the things we did and talked about today, I think it would be fair to call it quits for now. Yeah, I'm beat. I bet Ellie's feeling tired too. Ellie's energy is currently at 47%. Okay, maybe not that tired. I think we should all go to bed anyway, including Ellie. But she doesn't have a bed. Since we're calling her our kid, it would be weird if we made her sleep on the floor next to a power outlet. Then why don't you let Ellie sleep in your bed, Lee? Pardon? Wasn't that what you were suggesting? That is ridiculous. Ellie would prefer charging while being cushioned by a mattress for increased safety. You're just gonna say no to your sweet little baby child? Alright, I suppose I have no choice. Good night, you two. Good night. Well, are you going to say it back? Oh, good night. We kinda unlearned how to be nice and polite to each other, huh? The last time we exchanged good nights and good mornings was when Lily was still around. True, I guess. But enough of that already. No more getting all sentimental in front of Ellie. Yeah, we know how that turned out. I would prefer never having to fix her in such a manner ever again. Ellie apologizes for the aforementioned malfunction. A heavy wave of guilt washes over them, stunning them into silence for a while. You don't need to apologize. It was our fault. Just go recharge now, yes? Ellie understands. Lee, please take Ellie to bed. Oleander involuntarily forms a tender smile as he takes hold of Ellie's tiny hand. It isn't giving up any heat, but he feels his heart warm up regardless. We're off then. Good night for real now. Sleep well, you two. Or in Ellie's case, charge well. Let's just call it sleep for simplicity's sake. Why don't you sit down on the bed already, Ellie? I'll fetch the charger from the supply box. Affirmative. Oleander digs through the various cables inside the box while Ellie attempts to climb up his bed. But unfortunately... is something wrong? The bed is too high for Ellie to climb up. Ellie requires assistance. Sorry, Ellie, I didn't even think about your height. Give me a second, alright? Setting timer for 1 second. Lee, it is time to help Ellie onto the bed. That's not what I meant. I meant by give me a second. What did Lee mean then? It's a figure of speech. It basically means that you have to wait a little bit before someone has time for you. Understood. How long is a little bit? Definitely more than 1 second. I'd say a minute maybe. Ellie has saved the duration of a little bit as 1 minute in the databank. Good enough, but I have your charger now, so you don't have to wait anymore. Oleander tucks the charger under his arm and walks over to Ellie, lifting her up carefully and placing her on the left side of his bed. Thank you for the assistance, Lee. You're welcome, Ellie. Why is Lee smiling? Huh, well, because I'm happy. What is making Lee happy? Simple, you are. How was Ellie making Lee happy? By just being here, I'd say, you're cute and cute things make me smile. You're also kind of my child. It feels nice to have something to protect. Ellie is glad to make Lee feel positive emotions. I'm not strong enough for all of this wholesomeness. You should recharge and I should sleep. Let me tuck you in. Oleander instructs Ellie to lay her head down on the pillows. He plugs one end of the charger into the power outlet next to the headboard, and the other end in the port hidden underneath Ellie's shirt collar. Afterwards, Oleander takes the soft blanket at the foot of the bed and tucks his robot child in lovingly. Are you comfortable like this? Ellie is cushioned properly. Risk of external damage while charging is minimized. Satisfied with the reply, Oleander gets up and changes into his pajamas to join Ellie. Once under the same blanket, he begins to think back on everything that has happened this day. Ellie recommends choosing standby mode or turning the system off for more effective charging. Right, you can't do that by yourself. Lycra should have included that functionality. Wait, I'm nagging again. This is going to be hard to unlearn. Why does Lee wish to unlearn nagging? Because it spreads negativity and makes others feel frustrated or sad, and well, you know what being sad can lead to by now, right? Sadness can lead to tears, harming oneself, and... That's enough. I didn't actually want to know. Noted. Is Lee ready to change Ellie's mode for efficient charging now? Oh yes, of course. Give me a second. Timer for 1 minute set. My bad. I'll do it right now. Oleander sits up straight on the bed and shifts his upper body so that he can slide the blanket off of Ellie. He unbuttons her shirt enough for the standby and the power button to be accessible. But instead of pressing one of them, Oleander finds himself lost in thought again. Listen, Ellie, I truly want to apologize for what happened earlier today. Please specify which event Lee is referring to. When you tried to cry. It's my fault you even thought of doing that, and it's also partially my fault you were sad. So that is what I want to apologize for. Can you accept my apology, Ellie? Lee has nothing to apologize for. Ellie appreciates getting a chance to learn what it means to experience sadness and happiness. Happiness? Ellie feels happy now. It's nice that you could gain something positive from all of this, Ellie. I think we all did in the end, even if the circumstances were rather rough. In some way, you also taught us something. Is Lee certain? Ellie was built to learn, not to teach. Considering that we made you, it's odd to think that you could teach us anything new. But without you, Lycra, Strelitzia, and I probably would have never forgiven each other. We probably would have never realized that we needed to. That it's what we owe to Lilium. Ellie is happy to help her parents. Parents, huh? Still feels unusual. Anyhow, for now we should finally sleep. Can I turn you off, Ellie? Yes. All right then. Oleander's finger hovers over Ellie's power button. Good night, Ellie. Good night, Lee. Ellie recommends sleeping for at least 7 hours for a proper rest. Heh, I'll try. Finally, the power button is pressed and Ellie shuts down. Oleander can't help but smile at the mix of emotions he feels as he lays down again, closer to Ellie than before. Good morning, Ellie. Can you see everything properly? Good morning, Lee. Running visual check. Please stand by. Ellie's vision is at 100%. That's good to hear. Let's run a quick mobility check too. Let me lift you off the bed. Affirmative. Oleander carefully lifts Ellie up and lets her feet settle on the ground before him, without letting go completely. Is your body fully balanced? Can I let go? Gyroscope is fully balanced. Lee can let go of Ellie with no risk of damage. All right, there you go. Ellie, perform standard mobility check. Affirmative. Ellie begins to move all her body parts one after one, starting by rolling her head and finishing by taking a few steps on the spot. Mobility check complete. Ellie's body is at 100% functionality. Great, I'm glad yesterday's incident didn't leave any traces on your hardware. Ellie recommends a software checkup. Lycris said that he wanted to do that earlier, actually. I supposed it does make sense, especially now that you're suggesting it too. Earlier? Lycris had breakfast together while you were still asleep. Or, well, turned off. That was the first time we ate together willingly in what feels like forever. It was a welcome change. Lee is smiling. Does that mean being with Lai makes Lee happy? I wouldn't go that far, although we do get along significantly better than before. Lee, we should move it. Stretzy has been quadruple texting me saying he's tired of waiting for us. Why is he being so impatient? He says he feels awkward around all the couples in the park. And our arrival would make it less awkward. Don't ask me. Good morning, Lai. Oh, good morning, Ellie. You doing all right? Ellie's hardware functionality is at 100%. However, a software checkup is recommended. Just like I said. Lee has informed Ellie about your suggestion. Oh. Awkwardness detected. Should Ellie play music to ease the mood? No thanks. I'll give you a checkup this evening, okay? Ellie has set a reminder for software maintenance at 18 o'clock. Can't we do it a little late? What's that stern look for? We shouldn't teach Ellie your work ethic, or lack thereof. Okay, Mom. Anyway, we should head out before Stretzy dies of loneliness or something. Lycris and Oleander quickly slip their shoes on and walk the short distance to the park close to the campus. Ellie walks between them holding a hand of each of her dads. For safety purposes, both had said. Took you long enough. I thought I was going to grow roots. Good morning, Stretzy. Good morning, Ellie. But no good morning to you two for making me wait. You could have just had breakfast with Lee and me, you know, then you wouldn't have had to wait the ungodly amount of... Lycris pulls out his phone to check the time. 24 minutes. Very long 24 minutes. Ellie has categorized 24 minutes as a long time period. It's not long at all. Delete that. Ellie has deleted the aforementioned categorization. What matters is that we're all here now, no? That's right. We have an urgent matter to discuss. Why is Ellie still wearing that boring oversized button-up shirt? My apologies. I forgot about the huge collection of toddler clothes readily available in my room. Then why did you give her clothes in the first place? Aren't most robots naked anyway? You're getting way too worked up about fashion again. Ellie, do you even feel comfortable in that thing? The shirt is sufficient in hiding and protecting Ellie's control panel, so Ellie feels comfortable. But wouldn't you like something a little cuter or cooler? Whatever style you're into. Ellie does not understand what Stretzy is talking about. You're not alone. I don't think Ellie cares about what she's wearing, Stretzy. I have to admit, though, more fitting clothing might be good for Ellie. Huh? See, Lee gets it. I mean, wouldn't actual clothing for children make Ellie appear more like a human child? That's what we were trying to achieve with this project, is it not? So it's officially turned into a parenting assignment. You two are way too into this. Lee and me agree on something. Seems like the day is getting back on track after all. You look awfully self-satisfied. Something wrong with that? Please, not in front of the children. So Ellie, how do you feel about us buying some new clothes for you? Ellie will partake in any activity her parents tell her to. Now you just sound like we're forcing you. It's for her own good, and that's what being a parent is all about. But before we go, I have a little present for you, Ellie. What is a present? I'll show you. There we go. So a present is a blue hat? Not quite. It's a thing someone buys or makes for someone else. I don't want people to look at you weird. Oops, when we're shopping. That's why I bought this hat while Lai and Lee were eating breakfast. You went shopping just so you could do more shopping? Don't tell me you're actually surprised by that. Why would people look at Ellie weird? I was worried people would comment on your horns or something. They're antennae, and they're cute. I'm unsure if the public would agree. Let's play it safe, alright? Ellie is grateful for the present if it helps her stay safe. You're absolutely welcome, Ellie. Now let's get moving. This is where I usually buy my clothes, but I think they also have a kids section. Maybe Lycurgus will find something that fits him there. That was uncalled for. So I think the most important thing we need is a pair of pants. Those robot joints are a dead giveaway. Really? Knees are the first thing you can think of? Not, say, her eyes that glow in the dark? Okay, then let's put sunglasses on our list. What about shoes or a jacket? You got it. Let's not forget what we came here for. A proper shirt. Do we really have to do that? Huh? I thought you were on board. I am, but I think the oversized shirt looks really cute. Fine, as long as we find other things, Ellie will look awesome anyway. So Ellie, what's your verdict? Ellie has no particular opinion. Aw, look how badass she looks. I do. Ellie looks like every cool kid that's ever bullied me. Ellie is a bully? Ellie recognizes bully as a negative term, awaiting instructions. No, you're fine, just the way you are. You don't have to change your appearance for anyone. You really have the nerve to say that right after we went shopping because of you. I just wanted her to wear something. I don't care about the details. What do you want to look like, Ellie? Ellie has no preference, yeah. As you learn more, you'll develop your own tastes, and you can choose how you want to look. You programmed her with the ability to do that? No. Well, at least not specifically for stuff like fashion. Ellie's capable of acting differently based on past experiences, so who knows what she can do. You should know, but maybe Strelitzia can figure that out as well. It would certainly look good on our report. Man, I almost forgot that we built Ellie for educational purposes. Ellie exists to learn, not to educate. How about both? How about neither? No matter what we built her for, Ellie now exists for herself. Ellie does not understand. You will in time, if we raise you well. Based on recent data, Ellie predicts Lee has the capacity to be a good parent. That's... As do... Oops, I keep clicking the wrong button and it makes that pop up. As do Stretsy and Lai. Aw, thanks. Hopefully one day you won't need to... Hopefully one day you won't need to analyze the data, and you'll just be able to trust us. Is trust not built on data? It's a feeling that can be based in fact, but after enough positive experiences with someone, it becomes intuitive. So you don't consciously think about your shared history anymore. Do Ellie's parents trust each other? Nobody answers Ellie immediately. It wouldn't be incorrect to say yes, but it wouldn't exactly be true either. They look at each other unsure how to judge the atmosphere before Oleander places a tentative hand on Ellie's head. Trust can be broken, but it can also be rebuilt. Either way, let's get you home. Can Ellie hold Stretzy's hand? Well, what? Ellie held hands with Lai and Lee while walking here, therefore Ellie should hold hands with Stretzy on the way back. Cute. Ellie's concerned about you, Strelitzia. Ellie concluded that it would be fair. Concerned about his feelings, at least. Hey, you're just jealous because I have feel... Before Strelitzia can finish his sentence, he's stopped by a small tug at his waist. He looks down and Ellie lets go of his shirt, extending a small hand up towards him. Strelitzia smiles and takes in the metal of her palm. Takes it in his, oh goodness, the metal of her palm pleasantly warmed by sunlight. He takes a step before pausing. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I know. That makes one thing. Ellie leads Strelitzia over to Oleander and tilts her head up at him. The effect is somewhat ruined by Ellie's swanky new shades, but Oleander remembers the lifeless stare of her empty sockets and sighs. Among other things Lycoris's knowledge about. Nice save. Maybe we should try laying off on those kinds of jokes for Ellie's sake. I can handle some teasing, but we should set a better example for our kid. That's something we can all agree on. Ellie will continue to offer solutions to conflict if so desired. We're happy if you're happy. Is Ellie happy? Maybe we need to put this a different way. Do you feel like replicating tears again? Strelitzia and Lycoris wince at the reminder, but Ellie holds perfectly still as she processes the question. No, Ellie does not possess the urge to do so. Is the reason behind the urge just absent, or is there something else there? Ellie feels the opposite. That's all I wanted to hear. Strelitzia squeezes Ellie's hand lightly as the four of them start heading back home. Ellie looks at their joined hands for a second before squeezing back a bit too hard. Ow! Goodness, you're strong! Did Ellie hurt Stretzy? Is Stretzy going to cry? He won't, at least not the kind of tears you know of, sometimes produce tears of happiness. But you don't need to replicate those. A smile is enough to let people know you're feeling happy. How does Ellie smile? The edges of your mouth go up like this. Oleander flashes Ellie a soft smile. The robot tries to imitate the expression. The strain put on her face making the smile looks more like a grimace. Is Ellie smiling? Not really, no. We'll work on it. No need to force yourself, little one. Normal facial expressions restored. Ellie will try again later. Oleander heads straight to his room while Strelitzia crouches down and talks to Ellie. He refuses to let go of her hand. Lycoris stands next to them, somewhat awkwardly. Ready for your psychological test? Yes, Ellie is looking forward to learning. Hold on a hot second. How can time be physically hot? It's a figure of speech. I need to be more careful about this, or give Ellie a databank update. I could combine it with a software checkup, which is probably more important than whatever you've planned. I wouldn't say that. Besides, she's so eager for my psychological test. Lycoris gives Strelitzia a doubtful look. If anything, he's the eager one. But then his eyes wander towards their joined hands, and his gaze softens. Fine, you go first. Enjoy some time with her, but don't do anything to the software. You got it. I'll be so careful. You'll think Lee's spirit possessed me. Oleander calls from his room. Sure hope that was meant as a compliment. Heh, of course. By the way, Lai, why don't you stop by in an hour or so? I should be finished by then. Sounds good to me. Have a fun time, you two. Okay, I feel a little bad about forcing those clothes on you. Especially hiding your antenna. They're part of who you are. There, better? Ellie has no preference. Didn't expect any less of you. That reminds me, I wanted to test something related to preferences today. What's your understanding of morals? What are morals? They're basically about deciding if things are good or bad. Are good and bad not subjective? Ellie has trouble with subjective things. When it comes to good music and bad food, definitely. Preferences are subjective. But morals should be based on reason, not feelings. So I think you're able to rationalize your own beliefs. So morals are objective? I wouldn't go that far. After all, it depends on your reasoning. Please give an example. Let's assume that there's an important issue and some action needs to be taken. Should everyone affected by the decision be able to vote, or only those who are most informed and likely to make the right decision? Ellie is unsure. Equality dictates everyone should decide, but they might also choose poorly and suffer because of it. Very good. You figured out one of the issues with democracy. If we wanted to be thorough and let everyone have a say, kids should be able to vote as well. Or, if we went for the other extreme, you'd only be allowed to vote if you were an expert on a relevant topic. The problem with the first one would be that many uninformed decisions could be made. And the problem with the second one is that the experts could abuse their power. So there is no solution? I mean, we did find some kind of a compromise, but the system isn't perfect. Are there other systems besides democracy? Of course, but this shouldn't turn into a history lesson. I'm more interested in your critical thinking skills. Ellie believes a system where impartial experts make all decisions would be best. Describe these impartial experts. They are all-knowing but not interested in personal gain. So robots like you? That would be one example. Huh, well if you're ever running for president, you'll have my full support. But I have a faint suspicion about something. Let's try a different example. Suppose that if you kill 3 people, this will save the lives of 3,000 people. Do you kill them? Of course. Interesting. So you have a natural tendency towards utilitarianism. Was that the wrong answer? I'm not here to decide if you're right or wrong. I just want to know what you think. What does Stretsy think is right? Well, saving lives is definitely a good thing, but killing on the other hand is very bad. There's a difference between witnessing someone die and taking it into your own hands. Besides, if I put myself in the shoes of one of the 3 people that are supposed to be sacrificed, I really wouldn't want to trade places with them. Maybe it's better we don't allow that kind of thing to begin with. Then again, wouldn't it be selfish to want to stay alive even though your death could save the lives of so many others? So Stretsy has no idea? Not even a little bit. And 1 second, my puppy is chewing a cord. Hold on, be right back. Okay, back. Well, at least it wasn't plugged into anything. Goodness. All right. Ellie fails to see the educational value in this. Ow, are ethics really that boring to you? There are no objective answers because there is no way of verifying them. If Ellie cannot determine a correct answer, Ellie is not learning. Are you sure about that? You've already been in situations where there wasn't a crystal clear correct answer. For example, when the 3 of us were arguing, you cried. But there were 100 different things you could have done instead. No, it was the only thing that could stop Ellie's parents from fighting, while simultaneously displaying sadness. But why were those two things a priority for you? You could have also just started breakdancing on the table, minding your own business. Why would Ellie do that? I'm not saying you should have. I'm just saying, or I just think it's interesting that in that moment you had very clear objectives. It's almost as if you care about us. Care? When you care about someone, you want them to be happy, but you also give them the power to make you unhappy. That does not sound like an equal exchange. Ideally, those you care about you too. And we definitely do. Who? Lee, Lai, and I. We all care about you, Ellie. You done yet, Stretzy? Knock next time, or I might get a heart attack. Does entering rooms without knocking cause heart attacks? It happens. But definitely not with Stretzy. You need to be a senile old man to shit your pants to death. How does one Don't say it. You're tainting our pure little baby, Lai. Anyways, back to my original question. Are you done yet? I could technically do this forever, but I'm good for now. Ellie is all yours. You can stay if you want. I don't mind. You're really letting me watch you work? You've never allowed that before. Well, we also didn't have a robot child before. Good point. Is Ellie the reason Stretzy, Lai, and Lee are spending more time together? Yeah, you're really helping us reconnect. It's almost like we're back to how we were when Lily was still with us. So Ellie is like Lilium? Your personalities are different, but I guess you have the same effect on us. And that effect is good? Absolutely. I mean, you noticed how much better we get along, thanks to you. Ellie understands. Ellie feels happy that she can help. Again, Ellie attempts to replicate the smile Oleander had showed her earlier, but with the same grimace as a result. Your face is a little less sweet, but it's the thought that counts. Anyway, checkup time. I need to cut your power for that, Ellie. Ellie is alright with being turned off. Recalling that her power button is located underneath her shirt, Ellie unbuttons the shirt by herself. How thoughtful. The checkup isn't going to take long. Lycoris kneels down in front of Ellie and pushes the power button. Presses his word for only a second more, then promptly sees their movements as Ellie's eyes stop glowing and the little robot blacks out. And how come the eyes aren't glowing? Is something wrong? You know, I'm not the one who built her, but I'd say Ellie is still booting up. There we go. Welcome back, Ellie. Hello, Lai. Hello, Stretzy. Your software wasn't affected by the incident yesterday, but I did take the time to update your databank. I also realized I forgot to include this little thing called the 3 Laws of Robotics. Fortunately, that didn't lead to any problems, but you're all set now. Much appreciated. Oh, so that's why Ellie didn't hesitate when talking about killing people. She what now? I might have gone a little overboard with my philosophical questioning. Well, Ellie now won't even think about injuring herself or others. Thank you, Lycoris. Very cool. No problem. Gotta do something, or else I'll end up lazing around. And we wouldn't want that. Is everyone forgetting how to knock today? Is Stretzy going to have a heart attack? I sure hope not. I don't feel like performing CPR. Your loss. More importantly, how did the test go? Pretty good. It seems Ellie has big plans for the future. What about the software checkup? Ellie is in perfect shape. That's a relief. I was worried. What was Lee worried about? You, of course. I was afraid that despite the hardware check being flawless, something might have happened to your coding. Ellie understands. Ellie will try not to cause Lee, Stretzy, and Lai any concerns from now on. I think Lee will worry no matter what. Is that all you came here for, though? No, I was wondering if you two were up to write the final report now. Sure, I think we made enough progress for it. The deadline's rather close, too. Ellie, we're heading back home. Strelitzia offers his hand to Ellie, gladly squeezes it back, a lot lighter this time. Ellie holds out her free hand to Lycris, who grasps it as well. The robot then looks at Oleander, lowers her head, and frowns. Ellie does not have 3 hands. It's fine, I'll just hold the doors open for you. Ellie accepts Lee's offer. True to his word, Oleander holds open all the doors in their path. A real gentleman, huh? For my child and her other 2 dads, always. Strelitzia sticks his tongue out at the reply, and Lycris exhales an annoyed sigh as they make their way to the couch. Ellie is sitting on Lycris's lap to save space. Just as they start jotting down notes for their draft. Finally, someone knows how to knock. Wait. Did you 2 order any food for delivery? I didn't. Don't have a package due to come today either. Me neither. It might be one of our neighbors, though. I'll check. Strelitzia walks over and looks through the peephole. What is it, Strelitzia? You look like you've seen a ghost. Or one of his ex-boyfriends. I must be pretty tired. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Strelitzia stumbles backward as the door swings open. Ellie processes Lycris's frozen expression, Oleander's tight grip on the edge of the table, and finally the stranger at the door, raising a hand in greeting. Hey guys, long time no see. Oleander? Strelitzia? Lie? Lilium? Huh? Did one of you swallow helium? No. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm Lilium. Who are you? Hypothesis confirmed. Ellie is Ellie. Well, it's nice to meet you. Lilium crouches down and extends a hand towards the small robot. Ellie tentatively shakes it, and the contact throws the others off their trance, or out of their trance. Lily, is it really you? Why wouldn't it be? I would have given you guys a heads up, but you know I'm not a fan of phone calls. Lilium. Are those happy or sad tears? Are you okay, Oleander? Did I come at a bad time? Maybe I should come back again late. Man, what the hell? We thought you were dead. What? Why would I be dead? I don't know, you tell me. You're the one who left a cryptic note and fucked off to God knows where. Lie, calm down. How could I? Am I supposed to be happy that we nearly ruined our friendship for no reason? We blamed each other and ourselves. Do you have any idea how it's been for us, Lilium? After you disappeared, none of us were the same anymore. Do you have any idea what could have happened? What could have happened? Lycris, that's enough. You're not being rational. Shut up, Lee. Don't tell me that when you were crying a second ago. You're completely missing the point. We all missed the point. Lilium is alive. Why on earth would you leave a note like that? Lie. Was this some sick joke to you? Lycris. Why wouldn't you communicate like a normal person? Did we ever matter to you? Papa? You matter to me, Lie. I care about all of you so much. Then why did you leave us? Lycris. You made Lee cry again. It's okay, Oleander. Strelitzia, it's my fault he feels this way. It's my responsibility. It is not. Huh? Streltsy said that blaming people is less productive than focusing on positives. Lee said not to dwell on the past. He also said that emotions are not rational. Everyone has been hurt, and there were several misunderstandings. But in order to be vulnerable enough to be hurt, one must care a considerable amount. Lycris, Strelitzia, Oleander, Lilium, all 4 care about each other. Yeah, we cared. You said we didn't understand you, but we tried to, and you just left us without saying anything. You were all trying to do what you thought was best for me, so in return I did what I thought was best for you. Ghosting all of us to the point we believed you were dead was for the best? No, I just didn't want to burden you anymore. So we bothered you so much you had enough of it and left? Stretsy was right. I don't want to have been right about that. You weren't. Please believe me. I never wanted to hurt you. I know it won't change the fact that I left you so suddenly, but do you think it would have helped if I tried to explain? I would like to hear it. I don't know if you're just doing this for attention, but until you tell me what's wrong, it's going to come across that way. Trust me, I don't know what's going on either. Then how am I supposed to help? I'm really going to call the police at this point. No, anything but that. Please don't. There's nothing I can do to fix this. What do you want me to do? I'll figure something out. Something that's best for all of us. Wow, finally. That took you a while. But I'm glad you're finally coming around. Did you say something? No, I'm heading outside. Just hurry up with your solution. There really only is one option. There only is one option, is there? As long as I stay here, we will keep making each other miserable. Not only are you getting fed up with me, I can also tell you're annoyed with each other. And I hate that. I don't want to ruin things for everyone. Is there anything I can do? We might be like family, but what I want most right now is my mom's kind words and my dad's comforting hugs. Huh, I'm a bit of a baby, aren't I? But that's nothing new. Maybe this time my cowardice will solve the problem. You guys need a break from me, and I could use a break from everything. Lily, I'm sorry to bother you, but do you want some cake? No answer, huh? That's okay. I'll just leave it outside. You can come get it when you feel like it. But you better be fast. Lai will be coming back from his walk soon. Is he gone? Lilium, I found a form I'd like you to fill out. This should help us pinpoint your symptoms. Well, are you going to do it? I know you're in there. Alright, slide it under the door. Oh, I thought we could do this together. You see, I have two forms, and I figured it would be less uncomfortable for you if I filled one out as well. I'm sorry, I really can't right now. Very well, do it by yourself, but maybe we can discuss it together this evening. Maybe. Okay, Lycris is coming back. I need to be quick. After sending his mother a text announcing his return home, Lilium scans his room. That's it. I can use the form. Lilium picks up the piece of paper lying on the floor, then grabs a pen. How should I start? To my dear friends. It's pretty basic, but I want them to know I'm not angry. Now for the actual message. I'm sorry that this is all I leave you with, but I can't do this anymore. It almost sounds a little guilt-trippy. I should make sure they won't feel bad about it. Please don't worry about me. I'm at a much better place now. That's more like it. They know I have a good relationship with my parents. Lilium. I really am a coward. Can't even personally say goodbye. Hey, you okay in there? I want to apologize for lashing out like that earlier. In a panic, Lilium scrambles around in his room, then decides to hide on the balcony. Come on, don't sulk now. I didn't mean everything I said. Lilium sighs and closes the glass door behind him. Well, what's my problem? He's actually being nice right now. Lilium overhears Lycris's efforts to enter his room. Why can't I face him? Why can't I get over my biggest fear? Speaking of fears, Lilium almost looks like he's tempted to jump from the balcony. It's not that high, right? I can make it. Oh wow, he actually plans to do it. Right. The sound of his door being kicked open gives him the courage he needs, so he jumps. I merely sprained my arm, so the train ride home was no big deal. Lilium, you are so unbelievably stupid. I can't argue against that. Don't be mean, Lycris. Do you want to scare him away again? In the end, it really was my fault you left, huh? I pressured you to find a solution. Yes, but that was a good thing. I don't blame you. I knew you were dealing with depression yourself, so I felt pathetic for not being able to keep it together like you. You should have worried about yourself, you idiot. Everyone handles things differently. How could I not have worried about you? It seemed like you were more affected by my slump than I was. Your constant bickering made me realize I didn't exist in a vacuum and that I needed to take action. So what ended up helping you snap out of it? Well, since he left, clearly space was all he needed. That's not true. All three of you were right. I needed space, the support of my loved ones, and a therapist to talk to. Your loved ones, huh? Of course. You would have qualified as one of them. All three of you did. But I didn't want to burden you guys even more. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I should have been more transparent with you. It's okay. Ugh, it's okay, Lily. You don't have to open up if you don't. No, otherwise the same thing is going to happen all over again. We're here for you, Lilium, and that's our job to cheer you up when you're not doing okay. You don't have to worry about being cool or strong in front of us. Yeah, we appreciate you just the way you are. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad we could sort this out. I promise it won't happen again. Good. If this happens a second time, I'll make sure that you're dead with my own two hands. Slow down. Shouldn't we be happy that we were wrong, that he's alive? Of course, but I've already accepted his death. This just feels too good to be true. But it is true. In retrospect, I don't understand how or why we concluded his death so quickly. We didn't even call his parents to ask if they knew something. I guess we were all a little stupid. I wouldn't have it any other way. Their lighthearted chuckles are interpreted by Lycris' stomach growling. Or interrupted. Did I say interpreted? Didn't Lee mention food delivery earlier? That sounds like a great idea right now. Are you joking? Delivery isn't enough. This reunion definitely justifies a restaurant visit. Sounds good to me. Only if I pay. After all the trouble I've caused, it's the least I could do. No complaints here. You look a little awkward, Ellie. Is everything okay? Ellie did not want to interrupt what seemed like an important discussion. That's nice of you, but your input is always welcome. You don't have to be quiet just because of Lilium. But now that Lilium is back, Ellie has no reason to exist. Why would you say that? Ellie's parents are happy now. The family is reunited. Will Ellie not be gotten rid of? Ellie, earlier you said that the four of us care about each other. Was that conclusion incorrect? Incomplete. You were forgetting something. Ellie does not understand. You. Ellie cannot forget herself. Use your, inference skills? That's not what he means. You didn't mention that we care about you. You're a part of this family too. Whether or not Lilium is here, that's not going to change. You were never a replacement for him, so we're not getting rid of you. You're important to us, Ellie. More than you might be able to understand right now. What does lie mean? I mean that we... It's okay, you can say it. Take your time. Shut up, I'm trying to be genuine. Lycris heaves a long-suffering sigh, but the hint of a smile appears on his face. Ellie, we love you. Love? Oh, we actually get to see her in her oversized shirt. Yes, love. Can Ellie be loved? Anyone is capable of being loved. If you're not worthy of love, I don't want to know what that would say about me. This is about Ellie, Lycris. Do you want us to say that we love you too? I don't want to hear that from either of you. What about Lilium? You said that this is about Ellie. Ellie loves her family too. Oh, she's not grimacing. Robot daycare end. Oh, we're done. So this is not what exactly I expected from this. I mean, I knew it was a novel. It's classified as horror for some reason. Um, there wasn't really a lot of decisions to make. I thought there would be more decisions to affect the outcome because there are multiple outcomes. Not a lot, but like I think 5. Maybe it just said and I missed it. It was cute though, but I just expected a little more from it, just choice wise. But yeah, I guess that was it. That was Robot Daycare. And yeah, I guess we'll end the stream here. That's all I really had for the day. So everyone enjoy the rest of their day, and I will be back another time. Have a great day.